Last week we got to see a big look at what the demon looks like. This week, depending on how their SFX budget goes, depends on whether we're going to see minions or a throwdown with Mollusk until the end. Let's see.
Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing
The season finale of Legends of Tomorrow. Episode 18, The Good, the Bad, and the Cuddly. Alright, I'm recording this before I even watch any of it, but I have to wonder if Cuddly means we're going to get a certain war bear back. Alright, anyway. So, this is me after I've watched the episode, and it's actually a pretty interesting one. There were a whole bunch of things, including I did not realize a special guest star from a previously reoccurring character. But for those of you that don't know, what I do here is I review stories, I come up with theories on how and why we tell stories, and I do Throwback Thursdays to review older stories. All of this is just a way of saying I dig into the heart of the stories we tell. If that sounds interesting to you, click the subscribe button to join our little community. But for now, the legends have assembled all the totems. We have water in the hands of Ray, earth in the hands of Steel. Obviously, Amaya has the animal one. Fire in Heatwave. And air in Isis. And then Damien Dark has the power of death. Now, last week he kind of betrayed the team, so you know how that's going to start off. But last week we also lost access to the time agency. Let's talk tonight, though.
So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time. Ba-da-na-na.
So, early up we have a fight that shows us exactly that the legends aren't powerful enough with the totems to just beat Mollusk. And then, much like I worried about before I saw the episode, they didn't have the special effects budget to just have Mollusk show up, so we have a whole bunch of underlings show up. It's a cool demon effect, and I totally give them props for doing it. I just think maybe they could have toned it down to a more physical effect so they could have done more time with it. Either way, of course, we also have a lot going on with the Darks, and what Ray does to try to save Nora, which basically involves breaking every rule of time travel they have. Well, they break rules on a regular basis anyway. Meanwhile, Jonah Hex is the surprise reunion. Well, actually, a whole bunch of people from this season too. But they go to a town that's supposed to be blocked from time, but Mollusk tracks them there, and Hex is currently the sheriff. And as such, he ends up being pulled in. I wouldn't mind seeing him as a reoccurring character every season. He's pretty cool. But alright, back to Ray and his plan. The dumb one. Go back in time to right before Mollusk rips out of, why can't I think of her name? Damien's daughter, and try to stop it. Of course, the fact that if they did stop it, all they'd be doing is delaying the inevitable because of the fact that the next anachronism that Mollusk could, or Malice, depending on how you pronounce it, caused, would just free him anyway. And let's be honest, even if Malice wasn't trying, just letting the legends keep their ship was probably a good way to guarantee there'd be anachronisms. Now, in order to buy the time they needed for this, Rip sacrificed himself. And it was pretty heartfelt. I kinda dug the whole goodbye captain thing, but it also felt like it really wasn't necessary. Like, they just kinda tacked it on. Like, anyone could have been there when it blew up, or hell, they could have just thrown the thing at him from afar. But either way, he blew up the time drive, which is kinda like his way of saying sorry to the girls for screwing up their lives and not trusting them when he should have. Because remember, he messed up the time agency, he messed up the legends. And at the end of the day, he didn't really trust them, even though he put them in command. But that's only the beginning of all this. Because, like I said, the totems aren't good enough to lock away Malice, at least not in the hands of the legends. So, the brilliant plan, let's go on a vision quest. Good idea. Let's bring Citizen Steel with us. Oh my god, of course he ends up tripping balls because he totally drinks too much of the stuff. And, of course, that joke is never gonna get old. Can't you tell? But alright. They watch, and I did actually giggle at the, oh my god, they beat him with Care Bear Stare. One of these days I need to tell you the funny Care Bear story, but not today. They basically find out that to lock Malice away, they need to combine the powers of all 5 totems. Of course, that's not going to work because they don't have all 5 right now, because someone took Damien Dark with the Death Totem. I also loved Wally's whole "there's no such thing as coincidence," and I guess there's a reason I joined the team, even though in that particular scene there really wasn't. I did like Heatwave all being like, no, you're just one of the Englishmen's bad ideas. This episode was full of great lines. And just on a personal note, can I just say the fact that Nate was kept calling the combined powers Voltron, I found hysterical, especially considering my personal first show I reviewed was Voltron Legendary Defender. But okay. And yeah, another side point, when your powers combine, wouldn't Captain Planet have been a better analogy? Okay, anyway. So then Jonah Hex puts a bet to ISIS. What happens if you send out a smoke signal? I bet you're going to hear people come running, because the legends may not be orthodox, but they definitely make friends. So just as they're trying to combine their powers, and of course they mess up the first time because, it's only 20 minutes into the episode, the Time Agency comes to the rescue, along with all the people they've helped this year, including our favorite Firestorm. And the question becomes, then what do you do with these totems? Are they not worthy of them? Or are they super worthy of them and just need to know what they're doing? Maybe a lack of confidence? And I will say, as much fun as it was seeing Helen of Troy and all of them again, I kind of was hoping Constantine was going to show up. Yeah, I kind of already knew he wouldn't, but either way. So they do manage to pull off a little bit of a time travel trick. Because, of course, they needed to stop Mollusk, but they needed to also have Mollusk be born. So Damien Dark switches places with his daughter. And for the first time, actually truly redeems himself a little bit because he realizes he'd rather die than live in a world where his daughter died for him. And then we're back to the legends, and of course, we interrupt the whole "do you love me" question for Ray coming back and saying, "Hey, what's going on?" "Oh yeah, we have an army to fight, and the army is of Romans, pirates, and what was the third one? It's pirates, Romans, and Vikings. Vikings, right? Because it's Leif Erikson's sister. Basically, all the things that they've been messing around with all year are back to haunt them now. And boom, we don't really have Mollusk for most of it because, again, no special effects budget. But what we do get are 2 kick-ass speeches. The first one by Ava, when she explains to the legends, hey, these are all people whose lives you've changed for the better. These are people you've been heroes to. So how can you not be worthy of the totems when you're already all superheroes? And then one by White Canary, when Sarah says, all right, today's the day we're going to prove that we're not that Rip wasn't wrong for sacrificing himself, and that we earned the name Legends. Now, how do we sneak out the back? The fight was actually pretty fun. I really liked the use of just about everyone, including off-brand Wonder Woman as Helen of Troy. But then, with about 15 minutes left to go in the episode, we finally get back to special effects extravaganza Mollusk. And we have the problem. They need to put together something. So, of course, Captain Planet / Voltron, they need to believe in themselves. And then we get a nice Ghostbuster reference with, wait, did one of you just think of? And I can't believe they got me cheering for Bebo, the god of war. But I said at the beginning of this, before I even watched the first opening of this, that the Good, the Bad, and the Cuddly was going to be a Bebo reference. But oh, that was so perfect. An episode full of Easter eggs. I loved the fight sequence. It was comical and ridiculous, and technically it was foreshadowed when, hey, they beat him by Care Bear staring him. But whatever hell Mollusk is sent to when he dies, he's going to have to live down the fact that he was beaten by the cute and fluffy blue bear. And then they even say Damien Dark died a good man, but he got beat by a fluffy blue bear too, so I hope they both get extra attention in hell for that. But I will admit, sacrificing yourself for your daughter is a pretty good redemption arc. We have a nice send off for just about everyone. We have even Mick getting his Aruba vacation. We have Amaya going back home and not being mind wiped. I actually have a little bit of a tear in my eye when I saw the scene with him saying, "Don't turn back, don't turn back." But then the big one. Just like last year and the year before, we have a big season finale cliffhanger. And you know what that was? Constantine's back. And Mollis isn't the only thing that's gotten out of that door. So next year, when Mollis isn't the only demon around, we're going to have Constantine on the team and Wally. And we'll see what happens. Maybe some new people, too. All in all, I loved this season, even if there were parts that I wasn't 100% behind. And I'm sure next year is going to be a hell of a ride. So let me know what you think down below in the comment section and what you'd like to see next year. Maybe at some point between now and then I'll do something about that. Next week I probably won't get to review Supergirl when it's back, but the week after I'll pick up with Supergirl. So let me know in the comments what you think about that too. For now, I need you to do me a favor though. Thumbs up this episode if you're enjoying Legends as much as I did, and of course, share the video, and subscribe if you haven't already, because this was a crazy year, and when I do my wrap-up for the year, when I do one big thing, I'm sure there's going to be lots of symbolism here. So, I hope you have a good night, and thank you for walking with me through the heart of the Legends of Tomorrow, the good, the bad, and the cuddly. Have a good night.